To another episode, Tears of Themis. We just met up with Luke, and he's the private detective that's going to be with us during this investigation with Penny's comfort food, i.e., Mr. Green. Now, I do believe in the prior episode. I swear it always does this when I stream. I swear to you, it was working just fine before. Oh my god, that's annoying. Okay. So, that's where we left off. Penny's Comfort Foods. We are now about to do a preliminary investigation. So, let's get it. Hopefully it'll work. Penny's Comfort Foods. Luke suspects there is more to the insecticide poisonings. The fact that an insecticide toxic to humans was used in a restaurant is suspicious by itself. However, the victim claims it was caused by his own negligence. Then let's start with the insecticide itself. Even if it's been 2 weeks, the rest of the insecticide should still be here somewhere.
食中毒を招いたのが本当に殺虫剤の成分なのか判明させるためにも湧き水を調査しないとな。
Right. The insecticide powder and the spring water that directly led to the food poisonings both need to be investigated. While you're talking, your phone vibrates. You take it out and see a voice message from Artem. Oh shit.
事件はそう単純ではなさそうだ。捜査に注意しろ。何かあればすぐに連絡を。
Whoever Artem's Japanese voice actor is, I happen to be one of those people that have a thing for voices. Don't judge me. Anyway. The case may not be simple. Keep an eye on Mr. Green. Call me if there is trouble. Mr. Wing also finds Mr. Green and this case suspicious.
もしもし、どうした？何かあったのか？
Oh, God. Kornelia, what's wrong? What happened? Artem's voice suddenly rings out from your phone, catching you off guard. You realize that you somehow video called Artem from the message screen. I'm not gonna lie and sit up here and say like, oh yeah, that's not some shit I would do. Oh, good. Right. Right. That's the correct reaction.
間違えた？
Misstyle.
いや、君が大丈夫ならそれでいい。
No need to apologize, as long as you're fine.
中級試験の本はあえてこっちに残したのか？
I mean, I know you fine, but I mean, I'm sure that's not the same fine that we were talking about. Ignore me. Did you intentionally leave your review book here?
そうか。いや、特に問題ない。
Okay. Best you did. It is heavy and would be inconvenient to carry.
復習はともかく、今仕事に専念しなさい。
Don't worry about falling behind on your studies. I'll organize a review outline for you.
礼はいらない。仕事の邪魔をしたな。では。
No need for thanks. I'll leave you to it. Bye. After hanging up your call with Artem, you let out a long exhale.
さっきの人がお前の上司か？
Was that your boss?
怖がってるみたいだけど、いじめられてるんじゃないだろうな。
Okay. You look panicked. Did he bully you? No, not at all. Mr. Wing's a senior attorney at my law firm, and he's one of the best in the field. He's really strict, but he never treats anyone unfairly.
本当に？
Hontoni? Really? Of course!
まあいいか。仕事でもそれ以外でも何かトラブルとかうまくいかないことがあったらいつでも俺を頼れよ。
Alright, no matter. If it's work or life stuff, you can come to me if you need help with anything.
俺だって腕がいいんだからな。
I'm also pretty incredible, you know. I know, Detective Luke Pierce, the Incredible. This is the fun part. Harrison's effervescent packets. Their health supplements have been popular these past 2 years.
4、5袋なんて1回の服用量を超えてる。いくらサプリだからって。
Taking 4 or 5 packets far exceeds the recommended dosage. Even health supplements can be harmful when taken like this. You and Luke reach for the packets at the same time, and your hands touch. The moment his fingers touch the back of your hand, you feel a burning sensation that fades away as quickly as it came. I'm lame, y'all. I don't give a fuck, though. You freeze and stare at the back of your hand for a while, then turn to look at Luke. I'm gonna wait for it to catch up. Okay.
俺たち相変わらず息がぴったりだな。コードが被るなんてさ。
Even after all these years, we still think and act alike. I'm gonna wait for the music to catch up. Isn't that terrible that that was something I could kind of tell? I said kind of.
それよりさ、どうして諏訪さんは大量の粉薬を飲んだんだろうな。
Why do you Hold on. Why do you think Mr. Green takes such a large dose of this supplement? Oh, Winnie said it's because of his heart. What happened with Luke? Just now he pulled back his hand as if he got electrocuted. You put these thoughts away and turn your attention back towards work. Oof, squeeze me. They probably work as a placebo for him.
でも副作用があったら逆に体に悪いのに。
But if there are side effects, he's actually damaging his health. Evidence record updated. Harrison, effervescent packet obtained. Listen, I actually had to focus saying Harrison because, like, I was about to say it like the way they said it in Japanese. What they say, Hazen. Like, I heard that. Which is the other reason why I'm just like, oh my god, why am I like this? Why does my brain think like this? Alright.
これが従業員が買った殺虫剤だな。レシートもまだ残ってる。購入日は2週間前の月曜日。
This must be the receipt for the insecticide that Mr. Green bought from the convenience store. It's dated Monday 2 weeks ago. Sis, I get it. Mr. Green's quite meticulous. If it were me, I'd lose the receipt within 2 days. Not me. According to this, Mr. Green bought Bug Out. Huh? I recall that Bug Out's non-toxic to humans.
パッケージにもそう書いてあるな。人には無害だし、 ペットを飼ってる家でも使えるって。
You're right. It's a relatively safe insecticide that can be used in homes with children or pets.
殺虫剤といえば、お前小さい頃はゴキブリに弱かったよな。今はもう悲鳴あげなくなったか？
Luke, did anyone ask you? No, sir. Did nobody ask you? I remember you were scared of cockroaches when you were little. How about now? I'm gonna pretend you didn't ask that. Luke. Rude. Evidence record updated. Insecticide powder and receipt obtained. Guys, can I tell you, like, these earbuds fall out of my ear all the time. Ow. What's wrong?
この棚の下に紙があるみたいでな。取り出そうとしたら手を少しすった。
I scratched my hand. I saw what looked like a piece of paper under the cabinet, but my hand's too big. It got stuck. Your hands are too big, huh? Ignore me, guys. Just ignore me. Oh, and then I laughed. Sorry, I can't help it.
なら、紙を取り出すのは弁護士先生に頼もうかな。な、かすり傷を作らないようにな。
Oh, he's such a sweetheart. I request the assistance of the great attorney's smaller hands. Please don't hurt yourself. As much as you want to continue bantering with Luke over his silly mistake, you know this isn't the time. You get down on the floor and reach for the paper, guided by the light from Luke's phone. Almost there. Got it. It's a receipt.
記載されている日時は2週間前の木曜日。商品名は滅虫サミレ。
Insecticide 330 was purchased 2 weeks ago on Thursday. It's an agricultural insecticide. You usually can't purchase this kind in the city.
レシートに支払い口座の番号が末尾4桁まで記載されている。購入者の特定につながるかも。
The last 4 digits of the buyer's account number are right here. We can look up who owns this account. Evidence record updated. Insecticide 330 receipt obtained. Actually, nope. I knew I was missing one.
この水差しは普段湧き水を汲むときに使われるものだろう。
This must be the dispenser for the spring water tank.
ここを見ろ。薄黄色い結晶があるだろう。
Look here, there's some pale yellow crystals. Could this be dried residue from the contaminated spring water?
結晶が残るほど濃度が高かったのか。あくまでも仮説だけどな。
Only a solution with a high concentration of solute would yield crystals, but this is only one possibility. Other possibilities. Could someone have directly smeared insecticide onto the spout?
それもあり得る。何せよ、諏訪さんが言ってたうっかり間違えては嘘だろうな。
We can't rule that out. In any case, it's clear that Mr. Green lied about accidentally spilling the insecticide powder. If we had magnetic powder, we could try to lift some fingerprints from the dispenser and see who used it.
これが必要か？
You mean this? Luke pulls out a bag of powder from one of the pockets on his jacket. Why do you have that with you?
俺は探偵だぞ。今みたいに指紋採取することだってあるし、いつでも持ち歩いてるんだ。
I am a professional detective. I can read, guys, I promise. I'm a professional detective. How could I not? Luke is able to lift some fingerprints from the dispenser, but you aren't able to identify them just yet. Evidence record updated. Water dispenser obtained. The lock on the front door is a fingerprint lock. It shows no sign of forced entry. If the incident was a malicious act, could the perpetrator be one of the restaurant's employees?
正確に言えば、犯人はドアを開錠できる人物だ。二人の店員だけとは限らない。
Not necessarily. Anyone registered on this lock could be the culprit.
仮に店員の仕業だとしたら、失業までして店の評判を落とす理由がない。
The employees had nothing to gain and everything to lose if they sabotaged the restaurant.
しかも、故意に毒物を混入させたのなら、刑事責任まで負わなきゃいけなくなる。
If they were found guilty of intentional poisoning, they'd also face criminal charges.
諏訪さんを憎みでもしてなければ、店員が犯行に及んだとは考えにくい。
Unless something serious was going on between them and their boss, most employees wouldn't do such a drastic thing. Who else has access to the door? Even Winnie has to ring the doorbell, and Mr. Green wouldn't do this to himself. While you're pondering this issue, Luke takes out a tablet from his backpack and connects it to the charging port on the lock. Are you?
指紋の登録情報を調べてみれば、誰が解錠できるかわかるだろう。
I can access its database to get a list of registered prints. Evidence record updated. Smart lock's fingerprint database obtained. Alright, now I'm missing 2 clues. The checkout counter has fruit candies for customers to take. I'm here for work, so I shouldn't touch them. This must be the spring water from Cloudbreak Mountain. The manufacturing date's listed on the label. Judging by the manufacturing date, this must be the same tank that was delivered to the restaurant on the day of the incident.
ボトルの入り口が狭いな。適合する水差しを使わないと水が出なそうだ。
Its opening is narrow and you can't access the water inside until you attach it to a water dispenser.
うっかり殺虫剤を中に入れるのは案外難しそうだけど。
It's highly unlikely that insecticide could get in by accident. Man, that leaves us with intentional action.
残念ながらボトルはもう洗ってある。何も情報は残ってない。指紋一つさえもな。
Unfortunately, the tank's been thoroughly cleaned. I can't find a single fingerprint on it. Evidence record updated. Spring water tank obtained. I'm literally missing only one more clue. What was it? I should know by now, considering this is like the 3rd time I've done this. Was it something under the chairs? No? Mr. Green must have put a lot of thought into his wine cabinet. It gives the restaurant a classy vibe. I can tell that it must have cost a fortune. God damn it, I didn't want a hint. I knew it. Strange. Why can't we find insecticide powder anywhere in here? After applying insecticide, you generally don't clean it up because that would defeat the purpose of applying it in the first place.
確かに怪しいな。
That's a good point.
このワインセラーの隅っこに少し残ってないか。
There, I see some at the corner of the wine cabinet. It looks like any other insecticide powder on the market.
具体的な成分を検査してみよう。それで何かわかるだろうし。
It does, but I'll run an analysis on its components. You have that kind of equipment on you? You look up and down and all over Luke, but you don't see any beakers or other lab equipment.
そんなに見つめるなよ。検査をするからって科学実験をするのと勘違いしてないか？
Quit looking at me like that. I don't need to conduct an experiment to test it. Luke takes out a portable device with a screen on top and a dropper like apparatus at the bottom.
これは 俺が開発した快速検査機 D 型だ。通常の化学物質ならこれ一つで全部検査可能だ。
This is my trusty handy analyzer Mark IV that I augmented myself. It can identify the usual chemical substances. By the by, if I fuck that up, Roman numerals is not my thing. So there were marks 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so yeah, Mark 4. So there were marks 1, 2, and 3? Guess you didn't study bioengineering that well at university.
もちろん修士学位も獲得済みだ。これでも成績優秀だったんだぜ。
You guessed wrong. I got my master's degree with flying colors. Evidence record updated. Powder from the wine cabinet's corner obtained. After a preliminary investigation, you and Luke compare notes on the evidence you found. Luke had run a basic analysis on both the crystals found on the water dispenser and the powder along the edges of the wine cabinet. Fingerprints lifted from the water dispenser were also compared to the ones stored in the smart lock on the front door. On top of that, you had also found fingerprints on the receipt for insecticide 330. Oh, please don't tell me it crashed. Okay, I thought it crashed. Having only studied the liberal arts, you don't understand the code and molecular diagrams on Luke's tablet screen. The wound on the back of his hand now looks redder and more swollen. Let me take a look at the cut on your hand. Once Luke finishes up his work, you remove an alcohol wipe from your purse.
かすり傷？どこの？
A cut? Where? Luke follows your gaze to the back of his hand and then smiles like it's nothing.
大丈夫だ。言われなきゃ忘れるところだったよ。
It's fine. I actually forgot about it. It's not fine. The bottom of that cabinet was probably never cleaned. What if your cut gets infected? Not accepting his refusal. Blah. Not accepting his refusal, you grab his hand and gently clean his wound with your alcohol wipe. It'll sting. Bear with me for a bit. You're lucky that I always bring alcohol wipes with me when doing on-site work, in case I need to disinfect something. Luke hasn't said anything for a while, so you look up at him. A faint blush decorates his cheeks, accentuating the shine of his coral eyes. You...
ああ、覚えておくよ。これからはもっと気をつける。心配させてごめん。
I'll remember that. I'll be careful in the future, so I don't worry you. Your words better be as good as gold, Detective Pierce. You laugh, causing Luke to blush even harder. He clears his throat in a forced manner and quickly changes the subject.
仕事の話をしよう。さっきの検査結果を見た限り、指紋にもあの粉にも問題がある。
Anyway, the preliminary results show that something's not adding up with the fingerprints and insecticide powder. End investigation. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. And for reals, let me know if you want, like, these episodes or, like, this series to be longer episodes when I do these. Because that helps me out a lot. I don't know, totally up to you. Oh, and by the by, if you're watching this on YouTube, just don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. Because, I mean, I like hanging out with you. Just want you to know that. Anyway, don't mind me. I am gonna take a quick water break, and I'll be right back. I think I may have to connect and re-disconnect it. Yeah, okay, we just did that. So we're at 9. Okay, that's fine. What's my battery power looking like? I know y'all are like getting this on, like on live stream and be like, what? I can always edit that part out. I was just checking my battery power. Alright, and water. Yes, I drink a gallon of water. At least I try to.
Tears of Themis.
Welcome back to another episode of Tears of Themis. We just finished the preliminary investigation at Penny's Comfort Foods, and something ain't adding up. I think Mr. Green is lying. I really do. I think he's lying. And listen, don't get me wrong. Don't think that just because I've seen this already doesn't mean that I'm not re-hype. Because I'm gonna peep some shit that I know now going through this with y'all and be like, holy shit, I didn't even notice that. It's gonna be great, so. I hope you guys are ready for the next episode, and fingers crossed that nothing happens, you know, to my baby, to my phone. Thanks, guys. Oh, God, I love this song. I'm such a weirdo for this song. Cause it's smooth, it's swagged out. Oh, God, I make no sense. Whatever. When he takes the blood pressure monitor off of Vernon's arm and puts it away.
Keiko, 私のことはもういいんだ。
There's no need to worry about me.
店の衛生がダメだったからお客さんがお腹を壊した。これはもうどうしようもない事実だ。
My customers
探
got
偵を雇っても覆せない。
my customers got food poisoning after eating at my restaurant. Hiring a detective won't change this fact. Won't change this fact. Sorry.
それより大学のことを聞かせてくれないか。学校はいつから始まるんだい。
Come, tell me about school. When does the next semester start? Okay, sorry, I was playing with the audio levels. While reviewing the measurement history on the blood pressure monitor, Winnie's hand stops. She turns towards Vernon, eyes slightly teary.
諏訪おじいさん、
Grandpa Vern,
おじいさんは何を隠してるんですか？
are you trying to hide something?
どうしたケイコ、私には君が何を言ってるかわからないよ。
What, I think, what kind of nice, I don't know. Hide something? Winnie? I don't understand what you mean.
血圧や心拍数を測ってみたけど、この前よりずっと安定してます。
Your heart rate and blood pressure just now was better than the past few days.
さっき下にいた時、わざと体調が優れないふりをしてたんですね。あの二人の質問に答えたくないからって。
Were you pretending to be ill downstairs so you could avoid answering their questions?
ケイコ、私は
Winnie,
おじいさんは一体何を隠してるんですか？今回の事故は青い食堂の存続がかかっているのに。
What are you hiding? This incident could very well drive the restaurant out of business. Vernon is stunned for a moment, but then lets out a long sigh. Oh shit. Sorry, y'all had to watch me pick my nose. Listen, it was itchy, like right under. Whatever.
私も仕方がないんだ。
I wish my audio didn't fuck up on that. Is it catching up? Okay. No, it's my evidence folder, not that story review.
私も仕方がないんだ。
That's it. That's all I wanted to hear. Wait for it to catch up. Because it's like, I don't know, for whatever reason, this transmission, it like brain farts. It's whatever.
話すと長くなる。
It's a long story. Luke's preliminary test results show that something isn't adding up with the fingerprints and insecticide powder. Maybe Luke and Artem were right in suspecting that there is more to this food poisoning incident.
これらの証拠は個別だと事件の手がかりになり得ない。だけど証拠を結びつけて相互比較すると疑問点が見えてくる。
Each piece of evidence by itself seems innocuous. However, putting them all together tells another story. I'm waiting for it to catch up. Okay. This background music is swagged out. I don't care what nobody says. True. For instance, the insecticide that contaminated the spring water probably wasn't the bug out that Mr. Green bought. Bug out is an insecticide that isn't toxic to humans. Let me guess, the crystals on the water dispenser are a match with insecticide 330.
ああ、そうだ。ポンプ式水差しには殺虫剤の有害成分が含まれてた。
Sure is. I cross-checked online and the toxic chemicals detected in the crystals match those in insecticide 330.
水差しを解体してみたけど、フィルターエレメントには大量の殺虫剤が入ってたよ。
I also took the dispenser apart and found a lot of chemical residue in the filter.
これで注水口に殺虫剤の結晶があったことも説明がつく。
So I want y'all to like...
薬物の濃度が高かったからだ。
Cause like I don't want to like all the way hunch over. I'm trying not to hunch and it's hard. This explains why there are crystals present. The chemical concentration is alarmingly high, excuse me. That means any water that went through the dispenser would get contaminated. This also means that it's nearly impossible to spill insecticide into the dispenser by accident, so the act was intentional.
お客さんが食中毒を起こした原因は汚れた湧き水を飲んだことにあるって言い切れるか?
In that case where the customer is hospitalized because they consumed contaminated spring water? Let me think. Reviewing all the evidence we have should give us our answer. Oh, I love this part. Start analysis. Basically, I'm just going to show you how this works. And granted, I'm going to fuck this up. But once that happens, I'm going to go back and explain to you what it is that I'm doing. But I'm sure some should be able to catch on. Dispenser fingerprints. Multiple sets of fingerprints are present on the dispenser. They may belong to different individuals. Smart lock fingerprints. The smart lock contains 4 sets of fingerprints that have unlocking privileges. They were all entered in different years. You're looking for connections. Okay, so it doesn't seem to be one there. It's cool.
この証拠は相互比較しても使える結論は得られないだろうな。
That's why I said, see, I'm gonna fuck this up. Cross-referencing these clues doesn't lead to any useful conclusions. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. This is the part that makes it like so Phoenix Wright, by the way. Okay, so are the customer's poisoning symptoms consistent with the poisoning symptoms of insecticide 330? Okay. Mm-hmm. There it is. There it is. Okay, see, there's a question at the bottom that it's like the wording is so tiny, I honestly didn't even see it. So if I would have read that earlier, then I would have come up with this. Yeah. Whatever. We can. According to their medical reports, the patients had abdominal pain and diarrhea, which is consistent with the symptoms of insecticide 330 poisoning.
なら、ただの食中毒事故じゃないな。
Then we can be sure that this isn't a simple food poisoning case. Exactly. Insecticide 330 is a potent pesticide. If it were deliberately used in a restaurant, there's no way this case of food poisoning was caused by negligence. A hazardous chemical was intentionally used. It's a criminal act. Mr. Green didn't ask his employees to buy insecticide 330, so who bought it and put it into the water? If the culprit was in the restaurant, they must have left fingerprints or some other traces. Can we identify... Yep. Can we identify the perpetrator based on the fingerprints found in the restaurant? Yes.
ポンプ式水差しとフィルターから採取した指紋はドアの鍵に登録されてたものと一致した。
I lifted some fingerprints from both the dispenser surface and its internal filter. 4 of them match info from the smart lock database.
一番古いデータは10年前。おそらく諏訪さん本人が装置を設定した際に登録したんだろう。
The earliest is from 10 years ago. It's likely whoever installed the lock. So Mr. Green himself.
もう2つは
There's
そ
two
れぞれ
other
3年前と1年前に登録されたものだ。
There's 2 other fingerprints that were registered 3 years and 1 year ago.
安田さんから渡された従業員情報と一致するし、これは彼らのものだろう。
According to what Winnie told us about the restaurant staff, these 2 likely belong to them.
そして4つ目は6年前に登録されている。誰のものなのかはまだわからない。
A 4th fingerprint was registered 6 years ago, but I have no clue who it belongs to. Maybe a former employee?
その可能性はない。装置には離職した従業員の指紋をクリアした履歴が残ってた。
We could rule out that possibility. There are records of entry deletion, so I'm assuming fingerprints of former employees were removed.
けど別の証拠から装置に保存された4つ目のデータと一致する指紋が検出されたんだ。
But on a certain piece of evidence, I found a fingerprint that matches the 4th fingerprint in the smart locks database. Care to hazard a guess? End analysis. Yeah, so you have to like take the evidence and like come to your own conclusions by making connections. I love that. I actually love that about this game. I told you, like, this game is everything. I did say that, right? The receipt for insecticide 330.
そうだ。しかもポンプ式水差しのフィルターエレメントの近くからも同じ指紋が検出された。
That's right. This fingerprint also appears near the water dispenser's filter. Now we know for sure that someone not employed by the restaurant was recently here. They must be the one who placed insecticide into the water dispenser. Since they could unlock the front door, they must be close to Mr. Green. Someone who's close to him but also has a conflict of interest with the restaurant. We'll have to ask Mr. Green for that answer.
でも今掴んだ証拠を諏訪さんに尋ねても有益な情報は聞き出せないと思う。
I don't think he'll talk with the evidence we currently have on hand. You mean Mr. Green is deliberately trying to shield the suspect?
ああ、その可能性が高い。
That's right. Why do you think that? Did you find some evidence?
ボトルの洗浄作業ってのはベンダーさんがボトルを回収した後にやることだろう。
Usually water tanks are cleaned by the supplier after they retrieve an empty tank.
けど店に残されてたボトルはきれいに洗われてた。余った水も指紋も何も残ってない。
However, the tanks of spring water in the restaurant from the day of the incident have been wiped clean. Not a drop or a print to be found.
しかもワインセラーの縁で見つけた殺虫剤を検査した結果、無害の虫殺しだけが拭き取られてる。
Additionally, the powder found along the wine cabinet tested to be the non-toxic bug out, but it was also cleaned up. The restaurant likely uses bug out on a regular basis. Could the staff have cleaned it up by accident?
食中毒が起きたレストランでオーナーの指示もなく勝手に掃除をする店員はいないだろう。
In a restaurant where food poisoning occurred, the staff normally wouldn't dare to do so without explicit
これらの証拠隠滅は諏訪さんが毒を混入した犯人の正体を知った上で自らやったことだと思う。
My guess is that Mr. Green cleaned up the evidence after learning the suspect's identity. Sorry, guys. If that's the case, then Mr. Green must have a long history with our culprit. Why would Vernon want to protect someone who is clearly out to damage the restaurant? You and Luke can't wrap your heads around it. You hear footsteps suddenly coming down from upstairs. It's Winnie. Her eyes are swollen and red from crying. When your eyes meet, Winnie stops in her tracks. She opens her mouth as if wanting to say something. Before she can speak, Vernon calls out from upstairs. Winnie, have you seen my medicine?
おじいさんはじっとしてて。取ってあげるから。
Stay where you are, Grandpa Vern. I'll get it for you. Winnie glances at you again before going back upstairs. What's Mr. Green trying to hide?
隠し事をしていても俺たちの捜査は止めてない。なら二人で真実を見つければいい。
If he's unwilling to tell us the truth, then it's up to us to find it ourselves. We should start on the poisoner's identity. They've had access to the restaurant for 6 years, so we'll likely find clues to their identity somewhere here.
この人物は青い食堂と利害が一致してない。経営情報から手がかりをつかめるか。例えば帳簿とかから。
Right. Also, the suspect has a conflict of interest with the restaurant, so maybe we can find something in the restaurant's operational records.
よし、1階をもう一度捜査してみよう。どうしても見つからなかったら諏訪さんに聞くしかないな。
Let's comb through the restaurant one more time. If we really can't find anything, we'll have to confront Mr. Green about it. Oh, speaking of a conflict of interest, I just thought of... You and Luke lock eyes and he immediately knows what you're thinking, as if you two are of one mind.
それってミールキャットのことか。
You don't mean deli cart? Okay. So for the purposes of my phone fucking up and that I did just get a missed call, I want to thank you all again for joining me during the stream. I had a lot of fun. I did. I have a lot of fun. If you guys are watching this on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, please hit that follow button, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, because I love doing these. I love getting a chance to hang out with all of you and just read and whatever. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and with that, I can't wait to hear the story. It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. So I'm gonna go, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace.